Kit for the tube screamer. Build that. Got the decal stickers. Several components. Got the metal housing, and look out, there's stuff inside there. Looks like most of the components are made in Thailand. It's been assembled in the United States by me. I've got the instructions on my phone. It says the first step is to paint the enclosure and put the stickers on. I'm going to save that for last though. That means the real first step is to install 4 diodes and 2 transistors. All the components are polarized. I want to pay close attention to which way I put them in. If you look at the orange and black rectifier diodes, you notice, so they're not all facing the same way. Transistors, they have the flat side facing down, and then with the black and silver rectifier diode, make sure that silver stripe is on the right there. First I'll just put all the pieces in the circuit board, then I'll solder them. I want to get the soldering iron tinned a little bit. Heat up the lead and the circuit board. Get a drop of solder on it. Don't fry the circuit on the other side. Make sure the whole circle's full. Snip it and move on to the next. So all the solders are looking good. I've now got 6 of the approximately 60 components soldered in. The next step is to pick out these resistors and get them lined up and soldered. For a second there, I was worried that I didn't have a 2.4 kilo ohm resistor. Although they all look the same on the diagram, the 2.4K resistor and the 20K resistor actually look a little bit different in real life. The smaller one that's a lighter shade of blue, that's actually the 2.4K, and that's the 20K one. But don't fear, you're not missing a resistor, they just look a little bit different. Alright, I've got all 8 of the resistors in there. Time for the next step. The next step is to put in these remaining 11 resistors. That's going to include these beige ones and the 20K resistor. The next group of components to install is these 5 capacitors. The colors of the components they gave me don't match the colors of the one in the pictures. But that's okay, the values are the same, so I just need to pay attention to the values written on the capacitor. And it is of note, the shorter lead is negative. Now that I've got these caps in here, the circuit board is really filling out. Now I'm going to put the socket for the op amp on. You'll see right here it has a tiny notch on the top. And if you look at the diagram on the circuit board, you can see the notch. So they line up. So this socket is what's going to hold the op amp chip. And you have a lot of options with this pedal for which op amp chip you want to use. The chip comes in its own separate bag. Just going to wiggle it in there. The next step is to cut up the wire. Let the wicking action get the solder into those tiny little gaps. That's a fine looking set of cat whiskers. I'm going to put this aside for a minute and get out the other smaller circuit board. And the stop switch, fit all the lugs in there. When I've got that all soldered together, I'll take the 4 wires and just line them up with the 4 middle holes on here. The 2 outermost holes are going to get these 4-inch wires soldered in. Alright, I'm getting excited now. The last components that need to be soldered are the 3 control pots. Before I start, I have to break off this index pin. Get the needle nose. There we go. Now the top of the pot will sit flush against the housing. I'm a little confused when I'm looking at the pots. Unfortunately, I have a B100, a B100, and an A500. One of these B100K pots is supposed to be a B25 pot. So basically, instead of going from 1 to 10 on the tone knob, from 1 to 40, and once I turn it up past 10, 11 through 40, probably won't make any difference. But I think it'll be safe to put this in there for now, swap it out later. One of the tone pots is supposed to be B25. Next, I'm getting ready to put the LED in, the washer and the nut on the other side. Don't push the LED down close to the board. You can see on the housing that the hole for the LED is in line with the holes for the pots. So you want to bend the leads to the LED. After I get the washers and the nuts all screwed on, the next thing that goes in is the power socket. Just make sure the longer lead is on the left. It's going to go to the wire here that's on the left. If you have any experience soldering guitar electronics, you probably feel right at home working with these Switchcraft 1/4-inch jacks. Leave it a little bit loose while I'm doing the soldering and tighten it down after. So each of the short leads that are in the center on the circuit board go to the lugs, and these longer leads go to the outside. There's just not much left to do. I can actually test it out to see if it's going to work. I've got it plugged into the power. I don't smell any burning or see any smoke so far. The LED works. Now I have all the volumes turned down, so this should mute it when I hit the button. Alright, that's good. It does kind of sound like the tone is an on-off switch or a high-low switch. I don't think I'm liking the B100K pot in there, but it definitely works and it sounds okay. I'll probably switch that out later. I got the new pot in the mail, and it's the B25K and everything. The new pot doesn't have the plastic on the back, so I put this foam sticker on there so I can swap out the B100K that I put in there even though it's the wrong part. I've got the circuit correct now, so I can put that aside and return to the first step, which is for me the last step, which is painting the housing. I'm going to scuff up the outside of the housing, tape the holes on the inside. Start with the dark blue. It's dried overnight with a fan by the heater. I've got the stickers on there, but it's got a lot of polyurethane on it. Got the last coat of finish on there. So with the back on there and the knobs on, it's ready to try it out. So here's just the amp. I gotta say that's about as much gain as I could want or need. Pretty happy with how it turned out. The paint job took forever, but paint job's not bad. A great pedal, but there's actually even more. Another thing that's really cool about this pedal is that you can take out the op amp chip. The TS-808 uses soft clipping, while the Klon chip uses a kind of transparent hard clipping. And there's also a couple other chips that you can swap out. This is the Klon chip on the clean channel. Here's the Tube Screamer chip on the clean channel.